What is going on, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your day. Today is what, Tuesday? No, Monday. Yeah, it's a nice day out today. But yeah, I just want to talk about a few topics: Bible, God, routine in our lives, and meeting a new person. I have someone I truly care about in my life that's been helping me out in a lot of different aspects. And for me, it's very serious, which is nice, scary, refreshing, and exciting at the same time. There's a lot of different things going on right now. And, most of you guys know I have a daughter from a past relationship. And it's weird, kind of touching on the first two subjects, because the Bible and God, they're kind of the same thing, um, but they're completely different. I've never been one to open up a Bible and read it my whole life until recently. I have a lot of different sources of opening the Bible now and reading. I was going over Mark not too long ago, yesterday, and it just reminded me of a few things. Um, what is it? Is it Mark? It's in the beginning of Mark. I haven't gotten all the way through. Um, but my name is Philip John. It's very biblical, and those were two of the people that Jesus um, picked as his disciples. Um, Jesus feeds the 4,000. Oh, it's a little bit sooner in Mark. Dang, I haven't gotten that far in Mark. This is also a different Bible, though. This is like the small one. Jesus forgives and heals. That was good. That's when he got outed. Jesus appoints the 12. Yeah. So in Mark 2, 18, Andrew, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James, Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon and Zealot, and Judah Iscariot, who betrayed him. And and right before that, in 17, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John. And this is why I get down on myself so much, because what God showed me when I came to him, when I found out I had a daughter, that I was meant to be perfect. I wasn't meant to backslide. I wasn't meant to follow any other law or principle on this world if I want everything that I want in life, which is love, family, and just to be stable, and a lot of different other things. Kind of worldly. Don't get me wrong. I would love to drive around in a Lambo. I like Lambos, but I don't need all that stuff. And the closer I get to the scripture, closer that I get to God, the better my relationship with him is, the easier my life becomes in a lot of different aspects. I start receiving a whole lot of stuff, and then I ride that power, and it seems that I get tested. Well, it's not I know I get tested all the time. Just boom, 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 because I see so clearly everything in life. And that brings me down. It brings me down in a lot of different aspects, because there's so much that I want to do, and I'm very aware that I can't do everything. One of the biggest things that I want to do is meet my daughter for the first time, and I want my ex to stop fighting me, because everything that I'm doing is for my ex and my daughter really, and that means loving and supporting my ex in whatever way that she needs that love and support. It's okay. Well, no, that's a lie. It's not okay what she decided to do, and it's not okay how she treated me, still treats me, and it's not okay in a lot of different aspects. I've gone back and forth with this whole thing of whose fault is it for a long time, the last several months. I believe that a lot of this was my fault. I had my part to play. but at the same time, I love that woman unconditionally. Um, she could have done anything to me, and I still would have been there, as long as she still wanted me. And that, that's sad, but it's also, for me, one of one of the biggest things that I hold on to, because if I didn't have that belief, I don't think that I would ever be able to love and care for another woman the way that they deserve to be loved and cared for. Um, when I open up, in Genesis and read that, I look at it through a different lens. In Genesis, oh, this book is different. My bigger book is better. Um, Genesis is so small in here. It's like 1 or 2 pages. Everything is condensed. But when I look at Genesis, um, I look at it from a different lens of relationships. And, man had, ooh, does this not have Genesis in it? I haven't opened up this Bible in forever. It starts with Matthew. Ooh. Oh, shoot. This actually, Revelations. That's interesting. Yeah, this is the New Testament. This is the NIV version. But it's the pocket version, though. That's kind of cool. For the longest time, I actually carried this around as my wallet. I should actually probably start doing that again. I stopped doing it because it's super hot out here where I'm from, and pages get all stuck together. Let's see, Matthew, Galatians. Yeah, this doesn't have Genesis in it. That's crazy. It's like they left out the creation and the fall. They did. That's crazy. Anyways, preface. Yeah, that's not in it. But so what I'm getting at is when I think about Genesis, I think of relationships. Man had to become, woman was. Man asked God to give him, a proper helper, and God provided all the beasts in the land. A lot of people look at that passage, that scripture, and look at it through the lens of, all right, cats, dogs, bears, this and that, as actual animals. Now, this can be what is it called, like witchcraft or New Age or whatnot. But this is just what I was shown because of my personal desires and my personal beliefs, and what I want is, I've always wanted a family since I was 20 years old, and I've never had anything close to that. I've had some relationships, and I've let women decide to do what they want to do. It seems like I date a lot of doctors though. Either that or, yeah, it don't matter, whatever. And what I was shown is these are like the spirit of people. When I think about Native American traditions, I learned that being Mexican, where my family's from, and I have contact with my grandma, my biological grandma, that I'm Mexican, Navajo clan, and it originates from Peru. So I did a lot of different research and studying and whatnot, and this was when I was in witchcraft. But it's like animal spirits. We all represent certain things at different stages of our life. When we think about lambs and lions, lions are the go-getters, the hunters, the predators, and defenders of the land. Lambs are herded. You herd a flock of lambs or whatever they're called, right? And then you have goats that just eat and graze, and they're just kind of assholes. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but it's true. And so when I think about that, right? When I think about Genesis, I think God provided all these different women for him, you know, in a sense, right? There's no proof on that. But why would you want to date a snake? They're gonna lie and stab you in the back, and they're gonna poison you from within. You know, why would you date a bird? You know, they're flocky. You know, they don't trust necessarily. They're easily scared and will leave. You know, why would you date a frog? It's, you know, disgusting. You know, this and that, and you know, they live in the swamp. You know, a bunch of filth and whatnot. So that's what I see. And when Adam, you know, prayed to God or asked God for help finding a suitable helper, you know, he was laid to rest. Now, when I think of laid to rest, I think of the aspect, all right, he wasn't physically sleeping. He just, he gave it to God. He gave his wants, his aspirations, and his desire for a suitable partner, gave it to God, and then forgot about it and went to work, kept doing his due diligence, kept working, kept you know, doing all the things that he needed to do, because he was already in the Garden of Eden. And then when, you know, it was time, God pulled the rib out of Adam and created Eve, which was, that's what God says, you know, Eve was. So Adam had to become, he became a hard worker, he became disciplined, he became worry-free, he became a servant to God in his mission, and Eve just was. But Eve was a part of him, his own person, and that's individualistic the way I see it in every single person. And that kind of goes into my last one is for my new love in my life. I met an amazing woman. God placed her in my life in such a weird way. And I try my best not to figure out why, how, and a couple of other things, because I just need to lead by faith and just trust God has a plan. It's going to work out the way that it's supposed to work out. And God knows my prayers. He knows my wants. He knows my desires. He knows who I am deep down inside. Even though I don't follow his word 100% to the T. I was perfect when I met this woman, and I need to get back to it. But, you know, that's what I'm getting at. For me, I've dated not a lot, like when I say a lot, not everyone under the sun, but I've had experiences with different women, different types, women that, you know, most of them turn out to be doctors. It's weird, or CNAs, or healthcare. It's funny. It's just like, yeah, you guys are nurturers, or you girls are nurturers. Go have a baby, and that's funny. But you know, I've experienced a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff just doesn't catch my interest, doesn't catch my eye. You know, and I'm old-fashioned. I am, but you know, it's I've never had a woman that genuinely is from me. The woman that I really care about now, we have so many similarities. There's so much stuff that we have in common. We keep God focused in our, you know, in our relationship and in our conversations. When we're veering off and whatnot and getting a little heated sometimes, you know, I'll bring it back to, you know, I'd rather be in the presence of God with you than argue and fight about the Word of God, because we do butt heads sometimes about that. And, you know, I'd rather lay my weapons down than pick them up and fight with my spouse, right? And it's humbling. It's humbling, but it's so nice though. It is actually so nice, because I love snowboarding. She loves snowboarding, right? There's a certain way of life that I enjoy, and it really brings me a lot of happiness. and she enjoys that lifestyle too. God gave me challenges as well, because everything growing up that I said I did not want in a woman. I'll never do this. I won't date a woman that, has this. I won't date a woman that, is more successful than me, or this and that. And God is good. God is good. He likes to test us as well, though. But he gave me everything that I wanted in a woman, in a package of everything that I didn't want in a woman, or so I thought. And it's just funny, because that brings worry for me. Um, I've always been in the mindset of, all right, well, this is what I make a year. This is the lifestyle that I want, the things that I enjoy in my life, which some things I enjoy in life are pretty expensive. Nowadays, I don't care about anything. I have a brand new Apple laptop that I bought a couple months ago. I really rarely crack it open. Um, Cracking it open a little bit more frequently now because I'm writing a book. But you know, it worries me because I don't want this woman to give up so much for me, when personally I feel as if I'm not giving up enough for her. And that worries me. That brings me frustration, stress. And this woman is amazing. She keeps reminding me, just give it to God, all of these problems will be solved. Um, get into the Bible, read it more, do this, do that. God wants to give us our partners and stuff. And it's not as she's convincing me to go forward with this, because that's solely what she just wants. She's just leading me back to whatever I have, she'll pray for, or whatever I want, she'll pray for. And then it's up to me to read, meditate, listen to God, and see what He wants for me. And then just do His word. Just do His word, because God has a plan. So she brings me back into peace and solace. And every time we talk, it's peaceful. It's peaceful. I get excited. There's so much to learn about her. So much that she has to learn about me as well too. But the more that we learn, our lives line up so similar, and the experiences that we've had in life are very, very similar as well too, with different outcomes, um, especially with the choices that I've made in my life and whatnot. But this is when I think of Genesis, this is what I see. She is from me. She is not made for me necessarily, right? She doesn't have to become for me. She is for me. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing. And that kind of leads me into, my routine. So I snapped my calf muscle last week. I haven't been able to go to the gym to go fight. I've been going in the gym a couple of times, not 7 days a week anymore, because I'm lifting weights and just trying to build upper body strength a little bit more, and it's the only thing that I could really do. I don't really lift weights. I lift some, but I'll lift my body weights when I go fight, and then I'll go punch the bag and do a lot of cardio that way. And I used to walk around my block considerably. Sorry, I'm tired. I need to eat. But I used to walk around my block considerably for at least an hour or two. And after work and before work, I used to go into the gym right first thing in the morning. It was in the gym, at least doing 30-20 minutes, just getting the body going, and then coming home, taking a shower, walking around, and then changing for work, going to work, working about 10 to 12 hours, coming home, and then get right into the gym for about an hour, go fight, get a lot of frustration and anger out, and then meditate a little bit with martial arts. And then I come home, take a shower, go walk the block, just walk everywhere. My feet stay cut, my feet stay bloody underneath because I'm just doing so much. And I got tired. I got tired of certain things. I started chasing more success, and God has blessed me with a lot of different options and gave me work for 6 days a week at the pay that I get. But last month, my hours declined from 120 hours every 2 weeks to what was it? I think it was about 36 hours a week, and I could barely pay my bills, with that salary or with that pay. And I said, I can't do. I gotta get more work. I gotta get more money coming in because there's things I need to get done in life. I have all this energy, so I took it as, why am I being punished when I was told to work harder, get more jobs done. I have to be perfect with what I do, with everything that I do at work, and or as perfect as possible, right? And I outworked myself. I personally outworked myself out of a job, and I took the last kind of money that I had into savings. And I said, all right, well, I'm gonna buy myself a little bit of time, and I'm gonna gamble everything on this, and it worked out in my favor. And now my finances are are climbing pretty rapidly in a lot of different ways, and it's a blessing. But I walked out of my job and I just started applying everywhere. I even applied for construction to do one of the old jobs I used to do, or just anything around construction. And I didn't get any of those, but I got a security job. I got several companies wanting to hire me as a jeweler. They know my skill, they know my determination, they know my work ethic already by not even seeing me, other than having a word-to-word conversation or face-to-face conversation with them, and believing in me. Um, and that's just proof God works in my life so closely sometimes. And that's when my routine fell off. I took this and I said, you know what? Well, I casted my net out. I'm seeing what God's gonna deliver. I know something's gonna happen. I know I'm gonna be able to cover my bills. I have, it was the beginning of the month. I had just paid my rent and my utilities. Got my Jeep paid for as well too. So I was level set. But I was like down to like the last like $500-600 in my bank account. I was like, man, something needs to happen. Something needs to happen. But I had a whole month to earn income so I can at least pay my rent one more month, and then go from there and just, continue to go back upwards, because I need to at least work between 112 to 120 hours every 2 weeks. So just to be at a comfortable level, it keeps me busy, keeps me out of trouble, keeps me focused on my goals, my aspirations, and stuff like that. And I ended up getting my old job back. Well, not my old job back, because I was still working for them. But I ended up just walking out for a whole week. I was just like, nope, I'm done. And so I got my old job back, but I was only working, they only had me on the schedule for I think 4 days or something like that. 5 days. The store owner, we got into it. He threatened me, and he threatened to destroy my career. Said I won't be able to work in this state again for of a contract I signed, and I can do any other job, but I cannot do jewelry, period. And I was freaking out. And I told him, I said, look, I appreciate you. Um, I appreciate all the stuff that you've done for me. I appreciate that because of your company, I found God. You accepted me at my worst, loved me, tolerated me, even though it's hard to be around people like me when you live such a godly life. Being around someone such as bad as myself, fat, lustful, all kinds of stuff, right? Smoking weed in my jewelry shop every single day, even though I have a medical card, it still wasn't appropriate. Doing all kinds of different things, and I said, I appreciate you. I'll never forget that, and I appreciate all those aspects. I hope you understand that I would never call the cops on you. I would never sue you, and I would never speak downly upon you. And I just really hope and pray that, you know, you don't destroy my jewelry career. Is the only trade that I have that I love, that keeps me happy. But I'm willing to do whatever it takes to maintain it. And that means even if I have to pack everything up, leave the state that I moved at for, a really good opportunity, and go back home and start over again, I'll do it. And I'll come in and I'll pick up all my tools, and it'll be done. And he apologized. Um, I apologize as well too for being so wavery with my commitment to him. He's never made me. Granted, I signed a contract for this one company that he owns, that I was doing part-time work for him to go help that shop out. And there were some issues with the coworkers there. They didn't like me. It's okay, but that was the contract I signed, but he's never made me sign anything. He's just taken me for my word. He knows I'm a man of my word, and I follow through, and vice versa. And I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting that sometimes. And so I came back to work for him, but I had already had these jobs lined up that I had made commitment to. So I had to at least follow them through, see if they're right for me, and then make the decision, because I didn't know what God's plan was. And I worked, let's say I worked at another jewelry company for a couple of days. That went south bad because I made up my mind to go back to my old company. And I also worked at a security company, not overnight, but late into the night for a bar or club or whatever, bar club. And that whole night was hell. It was hell. I was just sitting there or standing there, just watching drunk people come in, go into the club, talk about nonsense, do all kinds of different things. And I was just thinking all night long because it died. The club died. There was no one in there. It was a slow night, and I had 3 hours of thinking. And then the woman that I'm seeing right now, prayed for me, and she convinced me also to come back to this company. And the blessing is this company kind of can't have me full time there, at this one location, because this one location, we're all hurting, right? But the blessing is the store owner owns multiple companies and has a lot of different contacts. And so what he told me is he'll guarantee me 5 days a week, and he'll even pay me if I'm not working, because he just wants me to be there, because things will bounce back and there'll be a whole lot of work, and that's when I shine. Um, and but I told him I want to work 6 days a week. The extra day a week really gives me a lot of profit and income. It makes things a lot easier, so I can afford a lot of different things. So what he ended up doing and what we discussed is I work 4 days a week for that company, and then there's another company that I work 2 days for. And it's refreshing because it's a new shop. I'm still the head jeweler there. I'm the head jeweler of, my shop, this shop. I'm turning them around, getting all the jobs done so quickly, and really good work and quality. So hopefully more customers will come back to that business. And it's just a blessing because I don't have to work in my one shop 6 days a week, where it feels like a jail sometimes. I have, the ability now to kind of travel and do a little bit of, this and that. This other company is closer to my apartment. And, like I said, different crowd, still kind of the same structure and whatnot, different shop. So that's a challenge, giving me challenge. But, with my daughter and whatnot, I didn't talk to her all last week. I got into an argument over a text message with my ex, because I wanted to start my daughter a credit card, so that way she could start building her credit now, and just, I don't know, just have credit for whenever she needs it. And my ex started talking to her husband, and I'm sure that he got into her head, and we got into an argument. And it's one of those things where I don't have any custody. I have no power, I have no say, I have no control, I have no nothing. If I had millions of dollars, I would just fight for my daughter. I just want to see my daughter. I don't want to take my daughter away from my ex. I don't want to disturb her family, but I want the trust. I want the love. I want the communication from my daughter, and I don't want to fight tooth and nail to have that. My intention is not to bring her down. My intention is not to, cause strife and, turmoil in her family. It's fine. I still love that woman, and I want to see her happy. What I prayed to God for years ago was, either bring her back to me, to where she'd want me, or, allow her to be happy with another man. God answered that prayer. He heard my request. He made a decision, and he gave my ex to another man. And, I didn't know that, it was going to include my daughter. So, now my prayers are changed up. I'm switching battle zones, and instead of fighting, I'm trying to love and what is it? Love and not respect or tolerate, but love and accept the situation for what it is, and love and accept her in the way that she needs that from me, and that's not fighting, not arguing, this and that. And I know one day I'll be able to meet my daughter. I'm not able to just take a willy-nilly vacation and not get paid, and then the trouble of having enough money to go actually travel, because gas is expensive, flights are expensive, and stuff like that. And honestly, I'd rather just drive there, because all I want to do, and this is what I had in my head, is I was going to take a week off of vacation in December, go surprise my daughter for her birthday, for her 4th birthday, because our birthdays are real close, a couple of days apart, and surprise her, and then pick her up in my big old lifted truck that looks real nice, and like impress her, and put her in her car seat, take her out for pizza, maybe get some ice cream. Why do I keep going back for pizza and ice cream? That might be saying something. And and then maybe take her to Peter Piper Pizzas or something, and have her go play. And then I wanted to bring her to my mom, and have my mom meet her and my dad meet her, and do all this stuff. And my ex is telling me that she needs to be with me for every single family event, and that's kind of what caused the argument. Was I'm over here thinking, and I didn't communicate with her. I decided to fight instead of communicate, and that was my fault. But I'm just thinking that there's no family event. I'm just taking time off of work to go meet my daughter. Our daughter. She makes it a habit of saying my daughter. And I get that, but she got everything that she wanted out of me. She got everything that she ever wanted, and the only thing I want is alone time with my daughter. I don't want to see my ex. I don't want to be around that woman. That it's gonna hurt. It's gonna bring up a lot of anger. I can't say I hate that woman, but I really want to say I hate that woman for what she's done to me. I don't hate her. I love her, but her actions cause me so much stress, so much turmoil, so much grief, that it's just ridiculous. And so personally, I safeguard myself in a lot of different ways than I used to. But I just have to remember, stick to the Bible and this and that. But it's all routines. It's all routine. It's crazy. It's one little aspect of my life goes not the way that I want it to, and I'm not able to do the things that I normally do. It causes so much frustration. Right now I want to be in the gym. I want to be punching a bag. I want to be, practicing my kicks, getting ready for a UFC fight at the end of the year. I've been gaining some weight because I've been overeating. I'm not on my diet. I'm tired right now too, though. I'm hungry. Speaking of weight. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I'll get everything back. and in God's timing. And I have to let go and remember that God is working fast. He's working fast. It might not seem fast to me, but he works at lightning speed. He's quicker than light. When he wants something done, it gets done. There is no maybe tomorrow. There's just, all right, you got it, bro. I'm gonna do it. And so I always have to remember that. I have to remind myself that, it might be a week that I haven't talked to my daughter right now, but in the grand scheme of things, before my life is able to be freed up enough to where I can just choose to spend as much time with my daughter as possible. Um, just keep doing the things that I'm doing, and God's working in the background, and He will make that a reality. He will make that a reality. And I'm just really excited to meet my daughter for the first time. I sit here at my desk and I look at her pictures, look at the paintings that she gave me, and this is proof that my ex doesn't want to fight with me, but I need to be better in certain aspects to communicate because of my resentment to her, and it's not right. I need to let that stuff go. But I just really pray that she lets go of her mistrust in me. I still don't understand how I never had trust with her or anything. Yeah, I didn't fight for that love, but she didn't either. So what am I supposed to do? Especially when there's some certain things said to me. It's like, all right, fly away, little bird. If you want to fly away from the nest, go spread your wings. Spread your wings. Fly. Fly on your own. Don't be under my shelter. Don't be with me. Don't fight with me. Go fight on your own. And so, it's like, I don't know like I said, I don't know what I caused for all that mistrust. It is what it is. But I just know that God has a plan. He's working He's working in lightning speed for all the things that I want, as long as I follow and listen to His word a lot better and get back onto the straight and narrow path. It's so clear. Everything is so clear in life. So it just comes down to options and choices. But anyways, with that, hopefully you guys got something out of that. If you guys are with someone, don't have a baby before you're married. Don't be like me. Or at least find someone that you're super committed to and beyond reasonable doubt that you want that person and you want a child with them. That might help. I don't know. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. Stay sexy. Peace out.